match is decided. Host to number 3 Canby in the featured game on opening night. It's Gresham on offense, and the Gophers get the big play here. Quarterback Curtis Loeb passing to John Valadez, and Valadez will make some dazzling moves, breaking tackles, cutting across the field. A 52-yard play for the touchdown, and Gresham leads it 14-7. The Gophers get a big hit minutes later. Canby completes a pass, but watch Gresham's Jim Jones cause that fumble, and guess who's there? It's Valadez again. He picks it up, and he's off and running for his second touchdown. This one goes 65 yards, and Gresham's leading it by 2 touchdowns. Looks like it might be a blowout, but Canby gets a break. Gresham fumbles here, and it's Canby's Mike Aubrey picking it up, and away he goes the other direction. 40 yards for the score. A lot of crazy things happen on opening night. This touchdown, though, not enough. Gresham hangs on to win it 26-21. And more prep scores. Benson has defeated Grant 33-13. Franklin shutting out Cleveland. Sandy blanks Roosevelt, and Marshfield a winner over Churchill. North Salem beats West Albany. South Albany also loses to Sprague 14-6. First-ranked South Salem rolls tonight. McKay a winner 12-6 over Corvallis. McNary beats Lebanon, and Wilson loses by a point to Madison. It's a Pac-10 opener for the Ducks tomorrow. Oregon playing host to Washington.
Major.
Like football, major action.
Major Little Daddies coming up, folks. They are back, and we are so glad to see them. Again, the best women golfers in the world teed it off today. And I welcome back the return of the Little Daddies of football. Tonight we have the game of the evening. Number 3 Canby at number 5 Gresham. Third quarter on the Gopher Prairie, and folks could smell an upset in the making. Rich Nevis goes off left tackle and runs like he's on a jailbreak, 60 yards. That set up a Gresham touchdown to give the Gophers a 26-14 lead. But those Cougars would not go down without a fight, because still in the third, and Canby came back. Little Sean Aubrey follows his blockers and then tumbles in for the score, but that wasn't enough. Number 5 Gresham 26, number 3 Canby 21 the final. Now you have number 6 Sunset at defending co-champion Tigard, and this is the kind of game it was. These are some tough little daddies, boy. Third quarter, and Tigard is trying to come back. Dustin Staley with a hole the size of a tool shed as Tigard cuts Sunset's lead to 13-6, but Sunset steps it out with its only score in the second half. Paul Burton made it 16-6 Sunset, but Tigard would not quit. With 2:42 left in the game, it's a 50-yard jolt. Scott Holst to Jason McLeod, but it wasn't enough. Sunset over Tigard, 16-12. Now you have Forest Grove attempting to pull off a mighty upset against ninth-ranked Glencoe, but Glencoe was on the Vikings like crust on bread. Jason Mullen hit him, and Rob Guthrie recovered that baby. That led to Jim Roofler's TD, 14-0 Glencoe there, 27-0 Glencoe the final. You're looking at Grant against Benson. Two teams expected to challenge for the Portland title, and right there, it's Benson's Brian Flanagan on the dive, 27 Benson. But Grant makes a game out of it for a while. This is a big team, folks. 22 Willie Kemp is as big as Jethro Bodine, and Willie Kemp cut Benson's lead to 2013. But Benson's lip bust and powerhouse style was too much. 55 Scott Miller had the last action at stopping Brian Flanagan, but that's all she wrote. Benson 33, Grant 13. All right, I asked a good friend to provide the tunes for the rest of the scores on the first Friday night Roller Jam of the season, and Curtis Salgado said no charge, my man. So Debonair Dennis DeKay, a little traveling music, please.
Got kicked off tonight. Usually they start with some pretty mediocre games, then we sort of ease our way into the big matchups. Tonight, though, we start with the Dandy. Third-ranked Canby visiting fifth-ranked Gresham. Not a bad way to start things off, and here we go. Isn't it great to see this stuff back? Look at Gresham's Rick Nevis, buried under about 2 tons of beef out there. The Gophers will run at you. Nevis again. This time he breaks over the plane for the touchdown, 7-0. Gresham, he's excited. Canby got even right here. Sean Aubrey on the draw play, punches it in. Nice little move, 7-7 tie, but the Gophers would take charge after that. Curtis Loeb lays it up, and look who runs under it. John Valadez. He then runs behind some blockers, a couple nifty moves, and it's a foot race to the goal line. He gets there first, 14-7. The Gophers had the lead. Then watch this. This is what we mean when we say a stick. Ryan Bradfield passes to Dean Miller. Gresham's Jim Jones just lays him out. Down he goes. Ball pops loose right into John Valadez's arms, and he's gone for another touchdown romp. 26-21 Gresham, and they are off to an impressive start. Are the Gophers. Mount Hood League scores. Oregon City big over Central Catholic. West Lynn beats David Douglas. Milwaukee opens well against Reynolds, and Barlow pounds on Bend 40-6. PIL, Benson easily over Grant. 14-0 Franklin over Cleveland. Jefferson slaughters Lincoln. Madison 1-point winners against Wilson. Lake Ridge big over Marshall. Sandy shuts out Roosevelt. And in the Metro League, it was 6th-ranked Sunset High against a very young Tigers team. Late in the game, Sunset ahead 16-6, and Sunset's defense was tough. Justin Whiteman and Mike Packard lower the boom. Tiger didn't pack it in, though. Look at this. Quarterback Scott Host long, and it is perfect to Jason McLeod for the touchdown. But it was a case of too little, too late. The Apollos win the final there, 16-12. Metro League scores. Jesuit ranked number 7 easily over Aloha. Glencoe big winners against Forest Grove. Beaverton over McMinnville, and Hillsborough loses a tough one to Newburgh. Three Rivers, Clackamas a close one against Park Rose. Putnam over Centennial. Lake Oswego big over Mountain View. And in the Valley League, McKay over Corvallis. McNary beats Lebanon. North Salem over West Albany, and South Salem ranked number 1 big over Crescent Valley. Today was round 1.
KATU Channel 2 Sports presents Sports Extra, a high school football report. And now, your host, Steve Arena.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another high school football season and Sports Extra. Every Friday night, we'll join you at 11:30 for a close-up look at Friday night football and scores. Let's get right to opening night action and welcome aboard Canby's new coach, Mike Doty, who replaces Irv Garrison. Preseason polls have Canby ranked 3rd, Gresham 5th. They met tonight in an early season showdown. Canby with an 18-game regular season winning streak, Gresham with a 15-game streak. This is Rich Nevis for 52 yards, setting the table for Gresham's final touchdown of the night, and it's courtesy of Nevis. He breaks through for 3 yards, 26-14 Gresham on top. But Canby comes right back. The Cougars grind out a long drive. Lauren Gibb from 3. Suddenly Canby's within 26-21. The Cougars have a chance at the win deep in Gresham territory, but watch Jimmy Jones come up with the interception at the 2 with 1 minute left. Canby is stopped. Gresham wins 26-21, snapping Canby's 18-game regular season winning streak. Also in East County tonight, Reynolds ranked 10th in preseason polls, and Milwaukee, a team expected to be in the hunt in the Three Rivers League this year. To the highlights, a non-league contest, but still plenty of action. Take a look at Neil Fendall. The Mustang breaks free, and he's not brought down until he pounds out 37 yards deep into Reynolds territory. And then it's only fitting that Fendall take it home. He scores from 5 yards out. Milwaukee hits the road and still wins its opener, upsetting 10th-ranked Reynolds 25-6. One other final involving a Mount Hood Conference team. David Douglas lost to West Lynn tonight, 22-6. The Lions win it. Last year, Tigard won a state co-championship with Roseburg. This year, the Tigers are rebuilding, minus the big guns that enjoyed Tigers' best-ever football season 1 year ago. Tonight, the Tigers were tested early with always tough Sunset, ranked 6th in preseason polls. Down 13-0, fourth quarter, Tigard tries to come back. Scott Host to Jason McLeod all the way down to 1. It sets up a touchdown, and Tigard cuts that margin back to 13-6. Sunset relies on the foot of Paul Burton for its only points of the second half. Burton nails a 24-yard field goal, 16-6 Sunset. But Tigard won't give up. Again, it's Host to McLeod, 22 yards, but it's not enough. Sunset holds on to beat Tigard the final 16-12. The folks out of Jesuit are hoping for a memorable season. The Crusaders are in the preseason top 10, ranked 6th heading into tonight's opener against Aloha. And Jesuit was able to strike with the big play. Those special teams come up big right here. Watch the punt return by Chris Zervis. Nothing to it. Zervis doesn't slow down until he reaches pay dirt, and that gives you an idea of the kind of night Jesuit enjoyed. The Crusader defense was on top of its game, shutting down Barlow. They forced the fumble and then recover. It's all Jesuit tonight. They win their opener on the road, 41-0. That win comes over Aloha. Other Metro League scores: Beaverton shut out McMinnville 38-0. Glencoe 27-0 over Forest Grove, and Newburgh beat Hillsborough 34-24. Still much more coming up on Sports Extra. Opening night in the Valley League. Jerry Murphy will join us from Salem for highlights, and the PIL. Benson and Grant kick off another season. Highlights of their game and much more next on Channel 2 Sports.
Introducing a daily investigative news program. Now it can be told.
We do the investigative stories behind the Page One headlines.
Stories uncovered by a team of investigative reporters, a team led by Geraldo Rivera.
We're going to be shining a very bright light into some pretty dark corners. Our hope is that some wrongs will be righted. They say you can't fight City Hall. We're going to give it our best shot.
Premiering Tuesday night at 7:30 on KATU Channel 2.
The toughest.
Grant, a long-standing rivalry that continued tonight. And with this rivalry comes big plays, and that tradition continued this evening. Take a look at Benson's Anthony Davis. He fields the kickoff on his own 12-yard line, and watch him go to work. Before you know it, Davis is in the clear. He has one man to beat, and when he stays in bounds, it completes an 88-yard kickoff return for the touchdown. But Grant also has a big play in its arsenal. It's courtesy of Willie Kemp. He takes the pitch, and see you later. 33 yards for the score, but it's not enough. Benson wins it the final tonight, 33-13. Marshall and Lake Ridge got the ball rolling on a new season today. They kicked it off in an afternoon game at Marshall, and it turned out to be a nightmare for the home team. The snap sails over the punter's head, and it sets up a Lake Ridge touchdown. Chris Keefe with the honors from the 4-yard line coming up right here, and it's already 19-0 Lake Ridge, still first quarter. It just gets worse for Marshall. Watch the Pacer defense in pursuit. Now this is Rule the fumble, and Jake Shearer is Johnny on the spot. He picks it off in midair and dashes for the touchdown. Lake Ridge is off to a big start with a 45-0 win at Marshall. Other PIL scores: Franklin shut out Cleveland, Jefferson 59, Lincoln 0, Madison surprised Wilson 13-12, and Sandy shut out Roosevelt 21-0. You can expect another wild race in the Valley League this year, and we'll be covering the action all season from our Salem Bureau, and that's where Jerry Murphy is tonight for our first Valley League report. Jerry?
Steve, it came as if on cue. Football season arrives, and so does the cool weather. It was a brisk night down here in the Valley. Our first stop tonight was McKay High School, where the Golden Scots hosted Corvallis. McKay coming off its best ever season. They were Valley League runners-up last year. The Scots were grinding it out on the ground behind their big offensive line. Then it's Sean Folkert busting one right up the gut. He'll run free for about 40 yards all the way down to the 7. 2 plays later, Folkert scored to make it 12-0 McKay. Corvallis makes its bid to get back in it. Brandon Michael on 4th down hits Brad Badger on the center screen all the way to the McKay 1-yard line to set up the score. It was 12-6 McKay. Almost 6 minutes were left. The Scots went to work. A key play in the clock-consuming drive. This swing pass to William Sterling. By the time Corvallis got the ball back, there was only about a minute left. The Spartans take one last fling. Brandon Michael airs it out, but Neely picks it off for the Scots. That puts away a 12-6 win for McKay. The Scots looking strong once again. Next we go to Sprague, where the Olympians met South Albany. They've got the spirit at Sprague. The Oles made the playoffs last year, but this season it is a very young squad. Let's get the season started off right. And we're waiting for that videotape to come up. Here we go. You see the cheerleaders. They've got their spirit. Let's see what we can come up from the special teams here. South Albany will punt to Sprague, and on the receiving end is Greg Lavispear. He'll make the grab, and he'll make tracks up the sideline. This will be a 16-yard return, then a jarring stop by Sylvester Guzman for the Rebels. The game was a scoreless tie after one quarter. Then the Oles get it going offensively. Kevin Federline looking to pass, finds Chris Bond. It's a 15-yard pickup, and Bond fights his way down inside the 5-yard line. Then it's Greg Lavispear getting the honor for Sprague. He takes it in for the score, and it's the Olympians over South Albany, 14-6. In other Valley League action, defending league champ and top-rated South Salem demolished Crescent Valley 52-0. McNary gets past Lebanon 15-8. And another low-scoring game, North Salem beats West Albany 10-6. And so, Steve, it looks like once again South Salem is the class of the Valley League. Look for a late-season showdown between South Salem and McKay.
Wow, some big, tough teams in that league this year. Some impressive highlights, Jerry.
McKay looks awfully big. We'll tell you about South Salem next week.
Okay, thanks very much for the report. Back home, Oregon City and Central Catholic went head-to-head tonight, a non-league encounter for both teams out at Civic Stadium. Let's pick up action in the first quarter. Oregon City on the attack. The handoff goes to the Pioneers' bread and butter man, number 3, Brian Piaski, and he does the rest. Piaski is on the move for 39 yards and the touchdown. The point after is no good. Pioneers with an early 6-0 lead. A little later, it's Oregon City on the move. This time they go to the air. Jeremy Lynch throws it up for grabs. Jerry Stone comes down with it. Another touchdown for Oregon City. They lead 20-0. All Oregon City tonight. Lynch and Stone hook up again, and that's all she wrote. Oregon City led 32-0 at the half, and they cruised to an opening night 41-7 win over Central Catholic. Other scores involving 3 Rivers Leagues teams. Clackamas beat Park Rose 13-10, and Putnam over Centennial 34-14. Sports Extra continues after a quick time up. Up next, a look at a couple Class 3A games. Join us when we come back, because we'll take you to St. Helens and Scappoose next as our coverage of opening night continues on Channel 2.